Hey there guys, I'm here to make a video about the patch notes. As you guys know, as of tomorrow, Wednesday, September 2nd, patch 10.18 will be deployed on live servers. And I wanted to take just a short time to go over the patch notes with everyone here today because I kind of miss doing patch note rundown videos. Even not if everyone likes them, personally I just like them and I could always link them to people when they ask me. So we're not going to go over TFT, just regular league, and let's just go right into it so we go a little bit faster and not have to take too long. One for All is back, great. People love rotating game modes. I personally like Nexus Splits, but One for All is fine too. Champions Ahri. So they talked about this on PvE. There is a lot of Ahri changes here. Overall, it's to make the champ easier, and by easier, you'll see here that Ahri now gains essence death stacks for each enemy hit per ability, up to a maximum of 3 per cast, and storing up to 9 at once. Upon reaching 9 stacks of essence death, Ahri's next spell consumes the stacks to heal Ahri for 3, 5, 9, 18, and then these are the level breakpoints on a 0.9 AP ratio for each enemy hit. So before it was she just hit one enemy and she got some HP. So this is each enemy hit. So now I imagine this is gonna be really nuts because it's how it was before, maybe a couple seasons back, where if she Qs the whole wave and the enemy and all the ones back, all those kind of ticks of healing. She should usually get a lot of healing. So honestly, that's a lot more safer with more sustain. Then they removed the movement speed that she would get from lining two abilities, which some would say is big, but you'll see why in a second here. And they also made it so Essence stuff is now her passive, so it's not on her Q passive, so she could use it on other stuff. So if she doesn't want to hit the whole wave with the Q, she could do it with her W for whatever reason, but she could do it. I mean, it's way more optimal to do it with Q. Foxfire now grants a burst of 40% movement speed to Kano with 1.5 seconds like that. So you having control of your movement speed is kind of nuts if you think about it, because since it was on your passive for the first two abilities you hit, you would charm them and W or Q, do your combo, and then you'd have movement speed. But like most of those times, people will be running at people or maybe like slightly kiting, so they wouldn't have the movement speed when they need to run away. So this is still the same thing. They'll get the movement speed when fighting them, but Foxfire has a kind of lowish cooldown, especially in the mid game. So now if they need to run away, they could keep Foxfire or it'll come back up after the rotation and they'll get that huge movement speed boost. And I know it's decaying, but it's 40% off the start instead of 20 over 3. So personally, this is kind of nuts because like now the champ's more safe. You have on-demand movement speed when you need it, and she heals more as well. And it also now has an execute and now deals 200% more damage to minions that are below 20% health as well. So overall, these changes are kind of nuts in my opinion because you got someone who's a little bit better at farming, a little bit more better sustain, and a better control over their own speed. So it's not like anything crazy. It's just like if you play alright, it's kind of nice for you. Then they lowered the attack damage on Ash by 3. Not much here. I mean, they also did a bug fix apparently where the damage doesn't got off properly, but we don't really count bug fixes because those aren't reliable. They also decreased Galio's Q damage. Yeah, much needed. It's very oppressive in mid lane, but it's only 10 per rank, so don't think it's enough. It's more. A lot of these changes are also more for worlds as well. If you're wondering about certain champions, like Jarvan's Q base damage being increased because they want to see my worlds, obviously. Kale got some changes as well. I remember they were doing a lot more work with Kale. It looks like they pulled back a lot of it, but they also added some. So Q no longer restores 50% mana cost for each enemy champion hit. It's a shame. Makes the early game even weaker, sadly. W cost is now up in mana as well across all around the board, so about 20 up. Also a shame. But then they reduced it by letting your E cost no mana at all. So it balances out pretty well. So that means you can just use your E for free to farm or poke. And the missile speed is much faster as well now. I personally don't know how these changes are going to pan out because you have two bad ones here and then one good one, but that good one's way better since it's absolutely no cost for E, and like E is what you spam the most, to be honest, in lane. I just don't play Kale enough to know how much of a significant change it is, personally. I also don't think like this would shoot her win rate up or drop her win rate more than 1%. Kog'Maw's base health and armor growth have been decreased. This was definitely a pro play change because pro play has been playing Kog'Maw mid a bit recently. And they were saying it is a little bit harder to take him now, especially because he usually runs barrier mid. Miss Fortune's base attack speed growth increased. She needs it. She's lacking now compared to most other ADs. It's 0.75% up, and the maximum bonus movement speed on strat is up by 5 per. So also not bad. Nothing crazy, nothing to go home about, but more movement speed is always nice for sure. Rumble base damage on Q's up by a bit, about roughly 5 to 10, depending on what rank. That's pretty big because base damage is always kind of nice. Even if it's only 5 and 10, it's still base damage at the end of the day. That 5 damage might have not gotten you that kill. Can make it a little bit more oppressive in mid and top. It's kind of nice. Oh, they pulled back on these set changes. Wow, they did quite a bit of set changes, like a lot, because they know how oppressive he is in pro play, especially. It looks like they only made it so the right hand bonus punch damage from his passive the second hit went from 0.15 total attack damage to 0.5 bonus attack damage. And the reason why they did that is because they want to negate people doing full tank builds in pro play. So as is right now, pro play, they build almost no offensive items, and if they do build one, it's either Black Cleaver or Death Stance into full tank. So they don't want him to be doing this much damage when he's being full tank. So they were shifting a lot more of his power into the bonus damage. And you can see it here as well on his Q, Knuckle Down, which has the same base, but no longer has per total 180, is now 0.01 the target's maximum health, plus 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3% per 100 total attack damage. So they were changing the scaling as well to be a flat percentages, so there'd be less max health damage. And honestly, it's not too big. I mean, it was a lot bigger on PvE because they had like about 4 more changes on there. But if you are playing solo Q set and you're buying at least 3 offensive items, maybe like Bork, Death Stance, maybe Black Cleaver or Triforce, I think it's a little greedy, but maybe you are, maybe Steeraxe, then you're gonna see a significant amount of increase in damage, especially in your Q and your regular right click punches. I can't stress this enough. This is really big, from 0.15 total to 0.5 bonus attack damage. Super huge when you're buying at least 2 or 3 offensive items. Shen passive shield decrease. Yep, he's pretty big, but it's only 10. Nothing crazy. Shyvana. Oof. I have a thing with this champ. This champ annoys me so much with AP. They're pretty much fixing the hitbox and the visuals of her E, because it, as is right now, a lot of times it doesn't even seem like it's hitting you. So these are just like small update things. I don't think these are insane nerfs. I wish they were, but something crazy. I think they're making the explosion radius a little bit bigger, right? Yeah, so I didn't even notice, but apparently the E was bigger per rank in E when in dragon form, and I thought that was super weird. But now it's gonna have a consistent 345, so in a way it's gonna be buff because it's a bigger hitbox, but it shouldn't be as hard to dodge. So I'm not too sure about this change. To be fair, I don't like Shyvana as is, and I wish she'd get reworked, but that's a long time from now. And these changes are something I have to kind of see in game to understand, because a bigger radius to me sounds like a buff, but how it center checks now apparently should be easier to dodge. Twitch's bonus damage per stack ratio on Contaminate is up for the ability power ratio of it. No one goes AP Twitch. I have no idea what that's even about. Spray and Pray now deal minus 5% per unit hit minimum damage cap. So Twitch has been getting a lot of attention recently, especially with RadIRL's new boosting strat of Man Immune Triple IE. So that's kind of weird, and this just helps with that. I mean, it's essentially lowering the cap, so he'd cap out at 40% max damage to units past the first one on his R, and now it's the 70% cap of max damage. So it's a significant buff to him, especially in the team fight phase when he's trying to stealth around, pop out, and he's hitting 3 people with it. It's pretty significant. You're adding 30% of your damage back, essentially. I think it's a pretty good buff. One that could totally make his win rate go a lot higher, especially when he's played with enchanters. Because really nuts with enchanters. Xin Xiao W thrust damage increased. The thrust was increased about by 10, and each rank, not bad. Always good base damage buffs. Oh, and by 0.05 attack damage too. Not a huge amount of scaling there, but hey, this is pretty good. 10 base damage and then 0.05 attack damage ratio. So that you could potentially mid game you're getting about 30 to 45 more damage than you were before. That's not bad. That's a pretty nice buff. It's not gonna be like 2% win rate buff, but it's a nice buff if he's in. Thank God. Guardian. Do I have a thing with Guardian? Guardian is overperforming on mage, enchanters, tank supports, and everyone else. Yep, I know. This rune is literally everywhere. Every support should be taking it. Every Iron should be taking it, even though it really shouldn't be. The AP scaling was nuts, and they lowered the bonus health. Yeah, just put it back more in line. It was definitely overtuned for sure. And adding league client updates. I'm not going to really read these. You could pause and read them if you want. They're usually kind of small, nothing crazy. And then VFX updates. If you haven't seen them, they're very nice. I'd suggest looking them up on Saharan, Riot Saharan's channel, or just looking them up in general on Skin Spotlights. The updated Malzahar, Nocturne, Victor, Tryndamere, and Ignite. They look very, very nice, and some Malzahar skins look better than they did before. I don't go over bug fix and quality of life changes. You can pause the video here or look at them if you want. Upcoming skins, yep, Psyops. We know all the Psyop stuff is coming. Psyop Zone is a legendary. The rest are 1350s, a Hex Tech, a skin, so 10 gemstones as well. Very nice skins, and then the chromas are here as well. That about wraps up my patch 10.18 breakdown, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like or comment down below, or comment what you didn't like, dislike the video. It really helps gauge what I should be making, because I do want to make more content other than news, and I did enjoy my patch rundowns before and dev blog rundowns and guides before, and I would love to see what else you guys like to see. And if you made it to the end of the video, just comment down below. I want to know, because it'd be really cool to see if you did it or not. And till then, guys, have a good day.